Wars are won by logistics, and that is why the Battle of the Atlantic is so important, since it's the only way Germany can level the playing field against the Allies, by strangling their supply lines. However, by the summer of 1943, every time Captain Gosling set sail, there are seaplanes ready to pounce, and destroyers well equipped to sniff him out. It is clear that this front, like every other, was turning against Germany, but he will do his best out on the high seas regardless. Just because you can't change anything doesn't mean there's nothing you can do. Even with severe limitations, people can do a lot. That's why to this day we still talk about the Alright, feels good to be back. It's been about 3.5 months since I last played, so I'm gonna start with a basic patrol mission to warm up. Once I get far enough away from Europe, I have the sub emerge from the water so I can use the maximum time compression. The game then sees the opportunity to do something really funny. I'm just happy they didn't spot me, and I can approach the convoy to line up a shot. Since the closest ship to me is a destroyer, they're gonna be my first victim. I feel my U-boat knowledge coming back to me. I get the calculations for the destroyer, entering in precise numbers for the computer, and get 2 torpedoes to fire just in case. Too bad my torpedo launcher took 3 business days to get in position. Yeah, just take all the time you need, sub. It's not like I was trying to do anything important anyways. That destroyer is in a different zip code by the time my torpedoes got there, so I just bust out the homing torpedo. I just thought of this to ask, but do the Allies in this game ever use the countermeasures they developed in real life that made this homing torpedo useless? If they do, it's gonna be a sad day for me when I see that. Now the Allied destroyers were coming at me quickly. I had time to fire 1 more homing torpedo, and then I had to start hiding. The torpedo homed in on the destroyer closest to me and was gonna buy me a lot of breathing room. Gonna be real, I kinda half-assed my destroyer evasion here, only diving 50 meters and still moving, so honestly, I deserve to be found. But you see, that was actually part of my master plan. Now I drop down to the shadow zone and punch that engine to max speed using the sound of the exploding depth charges to cover my escape. The destroyers circled around this area, desperately trying to find me out, but I crawled away without a scratch. Soon, I could actually start doing the mission I was assigned to do. Not long into the patrol, I heard a massive convoy passing near me. Once I approached, I waited on the edge for the destroyers to pass so I can spot an appropriate target. And now that I'm actually warmed up, I can get the appropriate measurements to completely overshoot my torpedo. So once again, I have to use the homing torpedo of shame. The Allied response is slow, so I'm gonna try to hit another ship since that other ship was barely carrying anything. After punching the numbers in, this was definitely a double torpedo solution cause I was not feeling good about my chances. Please. Yes, yes, I think it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit. Yes, 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 yes. Yes! I don't know what was going on in between these ships because their escorts did not try hard to find me. I easily made my way back to La Rochelle. From there, I was wondering what this gold retaking mission was gonna be like, even if it meant I had to go through Gibraltar again. I figured it'd be fun to go back to the Mediterranean since Operation Husky was supposed to start in a month and there'd probably be a lot more Allied ships to fight, so I decided to relocate to La Spezia. So right after that, I tabbed out of the game to watch a friend stream on Twitch, and I get another jump scare. Wait, what? What the? I'm just so thankful they don't have bunker busting bombs, but this feels really personal. Allied High Command really sent 30 bombers just to look for me. As I approach Gibraltar, I hear a merchant ship going the same direction as me, and to my joy, it is a tanker, so I get ready to bully it with my deck gun. Oh no guys, he's calling for help. What am I gonna do? Now, I lit this ship up a lot, but somehow this thing is still sailing. I guess they did rework damage on ships, and apparently they can patch holes the deck guns leave in them. So, although as fun as it is to shoot them like this with the deck gun, I have to think about where I'm shooting. I don't know if I hit something vital here, or there were just finally too many holes to patch up, but this thing was finally going down. Gibraltar isn't too hard when you know what to expect. If the British destroyers and corvettes don't know you're there, you can hide pretty easily in the shadow zone. Unfortunately, you have to go slowly, so you better have a crew that won't crack after being 270 meters deep for a while. The second someone starts crying, it's gonna be over for you. I get to La Spezia just fine, and while I could do the gold retrieval mission right now, I feel a quick patrol in me. As I sail by Malta, I hear 2 more merchant ships traveling the same direction as me, so I figured they appreciate my company. I try to disable the ship by focusing all my shells at the back, and it took me a while, but the tanker finally started taking on water. Remember guys, the secret to sinking ships with the deck gun is back shots. However, they are taking way too long to sink, so I gotta speed it up. There we go. Oh! There goes some of the survivors. 9 survivors, huh? I'm afraid, you guys can't be allowed to tell people what happened. I approached the next ship planning on doing the same thing, but then I noticed I could interact with it and just tell them to get off because I'm gonna sink the ship, which means I can just send my crew on board and scuttle the ship. I feel so stupid just realizing I could have been doing this the entire time, saving myself so much ammo. My patrol area gets changed by High Command, and I swear, in the Mediterranean, it's like a coin flip on whether you're getting your patrol changed. At least it's to the area I'm currently in, and I quickly find a target. I pull up ready to tell them to get off the ship, but these guys try to make a run for it for reasons beyond my understanding. Like, what do you think is gonna happen here? Captain is sitting in the bridge like, Winston Churchill, please save me. Since Malta is in the patrol zone, I might as well visit the harbor for some free tags. There weren't any ships guarding the port, so I was free to sail into the harbor. I guess dock workers saw me sail in, but they have no escorts or cannons to stop me, so all I could do is cry about it as I aim for the dock ships. As I sail away from Malta, things start to break down. Like, I'm not a physics guy, but I feel like ships wouldn't look like this after getting hit by a torpedo. Anyway, we sunk a lot of tons on this patrol, so I'm satisfied enough to go for the gold off of North Africa. However, I can't help but notice High Command is offering me an escort mission towards Tunis, when we haven't had control of that city for over 2 months. This, with the changing patrol orders, it's all making sense now. The Mediterranean Command is being led by someone with dementia. No wonder we're losing so hard here. Anyway, I'm heading off to the coast of Tunisia to find a sunken ship to recover some gold. Getting there is pretty straightforward, and I send Erwin Gaza to explore the wreck since he's the only one with diving skill. But just as he reached the wreck, I got a concerning alert. I have to sit still and wait for him to come back, but fortunately, the warships were completely unaware of me being here. Once Gaza's back in the sub, I hid under the surface and prepared to attack the destroyers. I figured I'd open with some loot torpedoes and sent them towards the leading destroyer.
With all due respect, is this plan really gonna work out?
You tell me, Arthur. Is it? Have some goddamn faith!
The destroyers were confused, but seemed to have no idea where I was. I followed up with a homing torpedo, but that destroyer was speeding away from it. It looks like those destroyers didn't care at all about finding out who sank their friend. They saw trouble and thought, yeah, I'd like to live. With them cleared out, I could send Gaza back down to the wreckage. After a while of searching, he found 300 bars of gold, but we only had space for 150. It would only take 52 hours to haul this, which I'm just trying to imagine. Did we have poor Gaza here hauling gold bars to the sub for 4 days straight while everyone just watched? It's kind of messed up, guys. After returning to La Spezia and looking through my missions, I see one that has an interesting piece of intelligence. The HMS Rodney is going through the region, and I want this to be her last voyage. Now, I'll be honest, finding that ship took me a few tries. I thought that intel meant that the ship would be patrolling in the area, but no, that thing is hauling ass and you gotta be fast to catch it. I'm talking, you need to be on 5 speed as soon as you leave the port and stay surface the entire time so you can get there and have a chance. Despite me not even trying to look for ships, I ran into the unluckiest ship in the Mediterranean, and since it is literally right in front of me, I might as well go for it. The ship tries to escape after it sees me, but come on guys, why are you even doing this? At least they accept their fate and get off the ship so I can scuttle it safely. I soon arrive in the patrol zone, and almost immediately I get a message from High Command, and I already know what it's gonna be. They're gonna tell me to patrol somewhere else, and I ain't leaving until I find that Rodney. They can't get me for following orders if I don't know what the new ones are. Eventually, I hear a small group of ships, but the hydrophone's reporting of their distance seems a bit vague. The next day, I do another hydrophone check and get a much better reading on their location. They're sailing right next to me. As I get closer, I realize a big problem that's going to be tough to overcome. I can't see anything. It's the middle of the night and there's a thick fog that doesn't allow me to see even a kilometer around me. With the weather looking like this, I'm going to have to get within shouting range of that battleship just to aim. As I'm trying to figure out where the battleship is in this group, I feel so blessed when I see that the one ship away from everyone else is the Rodney, cause honestly, I don't know how I would have managed to sink it in the middle of a bunch of destroyers. As I approach, the fog feels like it's getting thicker, so I have to kinda cheat to see it by using the X-ray vision my captain has looking through the periscope. There it is, the HMS Rodney, a Nelson-class battleship that just made the fatal mistake of sailing away from its escorts. Now it's time to get the measurements and ready the torpedoes. The ship quickly sent out an encrypted message, but I can figure it's a call for help. Those escorts are definitely gonna come over to find me soon, but although wounded, Rodney still sails on. Of course, 3 torpedoes wasn't gonna be enough for it. I readied a homing torpedo to fire, hoping that it would disable its rudder. The Rodney is listing, but it's still floating, and I could feel the pressure mount on me. The destroyers were closing in, but I needed one more good salvo on the Rodney to sink it. I desperately launched another homing torpedo to stop the ship. But despite the fireworks, the Rodney walked it off. I raced forwards, risking detection going at max speed, but it was the only way I'd get a final salvo off on the ship. and with the destroyer so close, this was really my last chance. Oh, are they have to be evacuated. That's GG. Look at it. Yes. Yeah, they're evacuating. Ooh. Let's go. It only took 7 torpedoes, but the Rodney, we got him. Rodney bros, we're out. On August 14th, 1943, after 15 years of service in the Royal Navy, the HMS Rodney's career had come to an end. Gosling's crew had accomplished a major feat today, but now they needed to be able to escape to tell the tale. I tried a quick escape, but the destroyers were now too close for that to work. I tried the usual evasive maneuvers. Crash diving, sonar decoy. Alright, you boat boys. Alright. This is what we trained for, boys. We're gaming. But that destroyer was still on top of me. They're right. They're right on top of me. Alright. Fucking go for it. All ass. To the shadow zone. That sounded very close. That destroyer was definitely close to hitting me, but that isn't enough to kill me, and the noise covered my escape. Later on, I actually followed orders and went to the patrol area that High Command wanted me to go to, and found this lonely freighter. So I approached to sink it the peaceful way. Go ahead, call for help. Do you know who I am? Wait. You're armed? Uh-oh. Oh shit. I didn't realize you're armed. Uh-oh. Never been humbled so fast in this game. Well, since they chose violence, I'm gonna give them violence. Actually did nothing. What? No, for a treasure that knows it's about to get torpedoed, they are remarkably calm. There they go. Ooh, we hit something big in there. God. There are no problems if you just don't look at them, right, dude? I run into another solo merchant ship that is way more reasonable, and with them dealt with, I can end the patrol. Everyone celebrates my return with what I've accomplished here. Captain Gosling has earned the Knight's Cross with oak leaves and crossed swords, which officially establishes him as one of the top officers in the Kriegsmarine. But despite Gosling's stellar performance, he can't change history. The Allies have secured the island of Sicily, and somehow, I still have a mission to escort convoys to Tunis. Yeah, no wonder we're still losing here. I was hoping with Operation Husky happening there would be more to do around here, but just doesn't seem like it, so I think I'm done with the Mediterranean for good. The Italian government must have gotten news that I'm leaving permanently, so they figured there was no point in fighting anymore. I know the Allies are feeling great after knocking out Italy, thinking victory's in sight, but I wanted to remind them that this war is far from being over. That is why, as I sailed towards the Gibraltar Strait, I adjusted my course because I wanted to leave the British with a parting gift. There were ships all around, but I crawled beneath their noses, hidden by the shadow zone. As I approached Gibraltar, I climbed to just beneath the surface and was shocked to see that the port was empty. They're constantly running patrols out of here, but there shouldn't be nothing docked. But as I thought more about it, that's okay, cause if I sink actively running warships just outside the port, that will make them more scared. I couldn't help but notice some destroyers approach the area and then turn around. They're panicking, probably because they know exactly who would sink a destroyer outside Gibraltar. I tried sinking more with another homing torpedo, but they straight up outran it. I tried to pursue the destroyers, but I had no chance to keep up. Then 2 corvettes entered my sight, and I was excited because I could test something I read. I read that you could face off against corvettes with your sub's deck gun if you hit their depth charges. So, I think you can already guess what happens next. Watch this drive. Whoa. Oh, it worked! Yeah! Oh shit.
Sani, Mosca Sani. Manu Babon!
Yeah, I got it! Alright, that one's dead. Oh my god. Alright. I think with that, we're taking on water. Might be our time. That's our time to... Well, there you go guys. If you aim right, you can take these down with a deck gun. I'm not sure how the Larkspur is still going after that explosion, but looking closer at it, I see that they have a hedgehog, so this is probably another good place to aim. I don't think you can take out destroyers with the same strat though. They have a hedgehog at the front, but it's at a harder angle to hit, and of course, this thing is way better armed. Anyway, the Larkspur and this other destroyer that arrived are trying to sandwich me, and I'm not gonna let that happen. It's actually outrunning. Ain't no way. Oh my god, these destroyers are fast. You're not supposed to do that. Oh, wait, that worked. It slowed it down just enough. I baited my son, yes! The destroyer was immobilized, but I had no time to finish it off when there were 2 more warships coming my way. Yeah. Ooh! That's a crit. Oh my god, that went down so fast. Bro. Oh no. Oh my god. Nobody survived. Uh-oh. And since this last warship chasing after me was a corvette, I had to try it again.
Schatzbericht!
1 minute later.
Okay, I think we gotta... I think this is our sign that we need to sink. Oh fuck. Okay, after that last fight, it was definitely time to go. My sub is pretty banged up now, and I still need to sail to France. There were still other warships around, but they weren't even looking for me anymore. I bet they're just trying to save the surviving sailors of the ships I sunk. Unfortunately, this victory didn't come without a cost, but honestly, losing 3 sailors to sink 3 corvettes and 3 destroyers, that's an amazing trade. But I wasn't out of trouble yet. There are still seaplanes patrolling. I just want to get back to France, and these planes won't let me relax at all. Get on the gun. Stay away from my sub. Oh my god, he's trying to blind me? Is it gonna hurt? Come on. I think he missed. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get destroyed.
12 seconds later.
No, another one? Where are they Hello? Where are they flying from? You also, oh my god, it's making it. Get back on the guns. Come on. Yes! It's gone. Ah! You didn't even get your bombs off. And just when I thought I was in the clear. Oh my god, what the? I can't believe after doing all of that, I nearly killed myself with a misclick. The AI took care of the plane and now I have no spare parts to patch up these leaks. At this point, I figured it was too risky to submerge, so I was on high alert for any planes as I entered the Bay of Biscay. But shockingly, I got some rare luck and I didn't encounter any planes, so Gosling's crew made it back to the port of Brest. Just seeing all those kills laid out in front of me, we really had quite the journey here. In other news, thankfully the U-boat devs in a recent update finally allowed you to change your difficulty settings mid-save, so since I'm feeling more confident in my understanding of the game, and I want to keep things interesting going on, I'm going to be turning up the realism settings. If you like this series and want to keep it going, remember to leave a like so I know y'all are interested and other people will see it too. I'm a bit scared of what the harder difficulty will be like, but I'll see if I can pull it off and see if I can pull off another amazing feat. Thank you to my alumni on Patreon generously supporting this content. It takes a while to make these videos, so any support there is greatly appreciated so I can continue on prioritizing on quality for y'all. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see y'all again. Bye bye.